Hey, what's up guys? How you guys doing? Bring you guys another video today, and today it'll be story time. Yup, I haven't made a story video in a long time. Can't remember when was the last one. And as you guys can see, I'm actually using a regular gun. This is actually an old gameplay of mine, and I just don't want it to sit there since I'm just sniping now. So I just want to go ahead and use it. And actually, today's story is actually going to be about the first time I saw breasts or boobs or whatever you want to call them. And it's actually a Super Bowl story because it was when the Broncos won the first Super Bowl. So it all started with my whole family, my parents, me, maybe a few cousins, and some friends. I think I can't really quite remember that much. I do remember the whole game. I remember I was just watching the game. I was so pumped. I remember we were underdogs, just like we are now against Carolina, and yet again everybody picked the Packers to beat us. We were 4-point underdogs, something like that. Right now with Carolina, we're a 6-point underdog, and I actually see a lot of similarities with this game. But at that time I was actually 9 years old. It was January 25th of 1998. So it was the 97 season, so they played that Super Bowl on the 98th, and it was the beginning of the year, and like I said, I was 9 years old, and I was just pumped. Ever since I got here to Denver when I was 7 years old, when I came from Mexico. Heck, I was even a Bronco fan ever since I was over there in Mexico. I had family members living here in Denver, and they would bring Bronco stuff, and I would have some even when I was a kid. So I've always been a Bronco fan, even ever since I was over there in Mexico when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. Actually, I got here at 7 years old. So yeah, I actually remember listening when I was 8 years old about the Broncos losing to Jacksonville, and it was terrible because they should have gone to the Super Bowl that year, and they didn't. And so that next year they made it happen. So this is how it all started. We were waiting for the game to start. Game started. We were watching it. We were all pumped or whatever. Then we saw in the fourth quarter that the Broncos were winning. They were ahead. Interception happened. Atwater knocked the heck out of himself. Braxton, I think that's his name, the cornerback that we had, and the Green Bay receiver. It was just a crazy hit. You can actually YouTube that hit. It was brutal, man. It was back in the days when football was just real vicious. And so then we knew the game was won. And we already heard all this commotion outside, right outside of our window in our apartments that we were living. And so once I didn't want to leave the house to go see what was the whole commotion about, but there was literally like a minute left or something like that, and all of a sudden the game ends, and I could hear noise all around me. All the apartments around me are yelling and screaming. You can hear the neighbors. And so then I look out the window because I hear even more commotion. And so I look out the window, and there's all these people out there just running towards the street. And so there I go with my cousin. We all run out to the street. We're all celebrating, yelling, and go Broncos and shit like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. Well, if your team hasn't won a Super Bowl, then I guess you guys don't know. But it's probably one of the best feelings that you can have as a sports fan, especially if your home team wins. And we went right into the side of the road. There was this line of people through the whole sidewalk just yelling and screaming. There was cars passing by just honking, and it was just going crazy, man. It was going crazy. Then all of a sudden, this truck passes by, and this lady pops out. I don't know how old the lady was, or if she was early 20s. I can't remember what was this lady like, but I just remember her lifting up her shirt and showing her breasts. But one thing, guys, she was wearing her bra. So technically I did get flashed, but we didn't get flashed. So But for a 9-year-old, that's a lot to see. You know, me and my cousin just looked at each other with our mouths wide open. We were like, what? Like, what just happened here, dude? Like, what just happened? What did we just see? I mean, you can't press pause and rewind and see exactly what happened with detail. No, the thing just went real fast. And it was just awesome. You know, not so much about her flashing us. Well, I guess as a 9-year-old, you're kind of like a little perv, I guess. But just the whole thing was so awesome. Winning the Super Bowl at that time, Super Bowl 32. Terrell Davis was actually the MVP. And, by the way, John Elway had a terrible game that day. I guess yards, he only did like, 135 yards passing. That's it. But one thing, man, the helicopter play. If you guys don't know the helicopter play, YouTube it. Helicopter play, John Elway. You'll see it. That's heart right there from a quarterback wanting to win a Super Bowl. And I believe that Peyton Manning will do almost anything. He'll run for a first down just like John Elway did. Hey, you know what? He did against the Patriots. And everybody was counting us out against the Patriots. Nobody has believed in the Broncos this year. Not one bit. Heck, they were saying we were going to lose against Green Bay. We were going to lose against Cincinnati. We were going to lose against the Patriots. Then, yet again, in the AFC Championship, they counted us out again. And we're just proving people wrong left and right. And that's what the Broncos have been feeding off all year long. And you know what? I have a gut feeling. I could almost assure you guys a Bronco win and Peyton Manning retiring with the Lombardi Trophy. And you know, I think John's gonna get up in the podium with the trophy and say this one's for Pat. If you guys don't know who Pat is, Pat Bowlen is the owner of the Broncos, and when the Broncos won the Super Bowl, he said this one's for John. And so it's the other way around now. If you guys don't know, Pat Bowlen is suffering from Alzheimer's disease, so he can't even be there. Only his wife and John Elway and everybody else. But you know what? Broncos are going to win. I could almost guarantee it. And I can't wait for that commotion, that craziness all over again. All right, guys. Going to catch you guys next time. Have a good one. Peace.